Dr. James Peterson and I are in the audience to chat with volunteers who'd like to ask questions of a marriage counselor and worker, Mrs.
Cooper.
From?
Pennsylvania.
And your question?
I would like to know if parents should raise their children according to their own set of rules or give in to the demands that our society makes on us now.
Well, that's a sort of an ambiguous question, isn't it?
Yes, but I think I know what you mean. What you mean is that children say that other parents give them more leeway than you want to give your children.
Right.
I would say you ought always to maintain your own standards honestly and help the neighbors to understand that, too.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Our next guest? Incidentally, that's a terrible weapon a child has, isn't it? Johnny's father lets him.
That's right.
That's why parents' leagues are forming all over the country like Dallas, where you and I were.
That's right. This is
So
blackmail.
so they can stick together.
Right.
Parents, rise. Put down the children.
Laura
Mrs.
Wilkinson,
Where are you from?
Atlanta, Georgia.
And your question?
Why do so many teenagers this day and time take dope?
Well, in the first place, I'd like to challenge a little bit what you say that so many teenagers, because most of our teenagers do not take dope and are not delinquents. A small percentage are, and we ought to remember that. The others take dope because they cannot cope with life. Parents haven't given them enough security at home, been with them enough, so they use dope as an escape from the problems of our world. But we ought to keep in balance and proportion the fact that most of our teenagers are fine young people.
It just seems like there's so many because there's so many more children. If the percentage doesn't even change, today over 20 years, it'd be 10 times more.
This is correct.
There you are. Our next guest, Mrs.
C.M. Moffett from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Well, that's a lovely town. What's your question?
I'd like to know if a working mother is a good or a bad influence on a family.
One can't answer that way. One has to say under what conditions does she provide for her children when she isn't there? How much time does she give the children when she's with them? And these things. Providing they have good help and she gives them lots of time, there is no difference in the outcome of children whether mother works or not.
A lot of parents are home all the time physically, but not there really, right?
This is correct.
Our next guest, Mrs.
Joanne Brooks from Salina, Kansas.
Tall one, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What's your question?
What do you do with the husband that goes to the zoo instead of coming here on your wedding anniversary?
Is this your wedding anniversary?
It is.
Maybe there's something in the zoo that he likes. You can't tell.
He probably likes animals. He probably is away thinking up something nice for you to do tonight.
I'm sure glad that it came out that way. It could have been, you know, he doesn't like me. Some husbands are jealous of me because their wives tell them, I've spent another half hour with Art Linkletter today, and I spend more time with a lot of women in this country than their husbands do. And I don't blame them for being jealous. Hello.
Hello.
Are you a wife?
No, not quite.
I thought you were kind of young for this problem, but maybe you're Miss Sue?
Judy Schwartz.
What would you like to ask, Judy?
Who should have top priority in dating? Parents or teenagers? You know,
Top
for the
priority? What do
Weekend.
you
For
mean?
weekend.
You mean who should say...
Yeah, who should stay home and who should go out? You know, babysit.
Well, I think that parents need to get away from their young people, and it ought to be nicely balanced. Perhaps one weekend the parents should have some freedom because the mother is there all week helping all the young people, you know. But on the other hand, they have to recognize that young people need to grow up and become independent and give them some opportunity too. It isn't one or the other, it's both.
Both, as usual, not black or white. You got a red nose. Watch the third peel. That's the dangerous one. Doctor, we're out of time, but thank you again for your sage wisdom. What do we have for our guest, Jack?
For each of them, we have an elegant West Bend 12-cup stainless steel automatic coffee maker with flavor control and a setting for instant coffee or tea.